Welcome to BrotoGP. This is episode number 66. Surprise! It's the summer break. No MotoGP racing has happened, but we actually have some racing to talk about.
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Yeah, there you go. We are going to shotgun you a bunch of episodes right now, and they're going to be coming fast and hot, and we know you want to listen to us. So we're going to try and make these quick, and hopefully they'll be as entertaining as normal. But all right, on the phone, you heard it. There's Kevin.
Entertaining as normal, so you mean fucking entertaining as all hell. You're damn right.
The more entertaining, the better, because that increases your chances of getting a Zuma.
Yeah, exactly. And that one guy said we were entertaining enough that if I recited the plot line till you don't mess with a Zohan from memory, he would still listen. So, fuck MotoAmerica. Here we go. Scene 1. Fade in. We see that... No, I was kidding.
Everett's on the phone as well.
Yep, I'm coming to you from the pool house here tonight.
Oh, no way.
Wait, your pool house or like a hotel pool room?
No,
like normal?
no, the in-laws pool house this time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait, how come we haven't got an invite to this pool house?
You can come this Saturday, my kid's birthday. Rolling out.
All right,
which one? Madison's birthday?
Kennedy. Yeah.
The best. The best. That's an inside joke, everyone.
I don't think we have time to explain it because we're gonna make this one quick. Let's jump to some business. So Riders Law, or we're talking about MotoAmerica, which is a great time to talk to you about Riders Law because Riders Law has a massive presence in the MotoAmerica paddock, and they had a huge booth, and they were doing some awesome things this past weekend at Laguna Seca. Check out our press release on Road Racing World and see how everyone did. And Riders Law, of course, they are your California motorcycle accident injury lawyers. So if you ever get hurt on the street, you ever need any legal help, you just want to talk to some guys and see what your options are, give them a call. That's Riders Law with a Z, riderslaw.com. Check them out.
The presence was so big, I had both a Riders Law shirt and a set of Riders Law sunglasses. So they went broke. They went for broke. You know what I mean? So it was good.
And we got a couch surf on their Airbnb. So
yeah, exactly.
It's true. After you somehow kicked the Riders Law umbrella girl off of the couch.
Yo,
no, she went out to go party.
I know. It worked.
Yeah, we rolled in the house, and me and Everett showed up with a bunch of beer, and there's a girl sleeping where I'm supposed to sleep. And then he's like, but then she bailed, so it was all cool.
She saw Everett, and she was like, nah, this ain't gonna happen.
Well, and she's like 5 feet tall, so the small couch fit her better. I needed the long couch.
That's true.
It all worked out.
That's
the
true.
logistics were correct. The logistics made sense.
That's how Riders Law rolls when we go to Laguna Seca. Fucking Airbnbs and beer all night long.
All night long.
Till about 11:35, yes.
Yeah, I was sleeping because I had to race the next day.
Yeah. Dude, when we showed up, literally, like, my favorite thing about the whole weekend was the Luca's look of disdain. Like, literally. And it's Bossum's favorite look. Shout out to my man, Bossum.
Are you serious?
Yeah, literally, I showed up, and I look through the window, and Luca gives me this look like, this motherfucker is here too? God damn it.
It's a very valid observation, so I was witness to that as well.
Right.
Oh my god. I didn't even know about that. Luca's my girlfriend / crew chief / chef / PR manager / everything. So
it was an added element of being overwhelmed. It was already enough to comprehend and handle. Then when Kevin and I roll up, she knows it's going to get out of control. So
yeah. We rolled up. 2 Live Crew was blasting band in the USA. Everett had a road soda, literally going at the same time. I jumped out of the car. I got my Riders Law sunglasses on at night, and Luca's like, "Oh, great! It's 11:30, and we have 8 a.m. LCQ tomorrow, and they're here and ready to go."
Yep. That's pretty much how it went down. All right,
and we weren't supposed to get there that night. That's not.
Yeah,
she was not expecting that.
Right.
So let's actually talk about the motorcycle racing though. So BrotoGP showed up at Laguna Seca, and you actually watched all of Sunday's races, which was pretty awesome. We will talk about the World Superbike ones a little bit later. But Kevin, I heard that you were surprised at how good the MotoAmerica Superbike racing actually was.
I'll be legit. I did not want to stay for the race. The World Superbike race, stepped all over my boner. Like, my Audi was an innie by the end of that thing, right? And it's fucking hot and sunny, and for some reason, Laguna has no shade anywhere, and I'm like, dude, it's time to go. And Everett, put the dad foot down and was like, no! And I was, and so we literally stayed at the empty-ass grandstand at Turn 4 and watched, and I was like, shit, this is pretty dope.
Well, and that was the whole point, was I knew that race had a high chance of being better than the one we just watched, and it was really remarkable how many people left the grandstands. I think it went from full to like 5%. It was shocking.
It was that bad?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
I mean, I left, but I had to drive all the way back to San Diego right then.
Right,
and
you raced the series and left.
And we'll get into like the stupidity of that scheduling on a different episode. Putting that race, after World Superbike, it's like having your opening act and come on after you two. Like no one watches the guy afterwards, but like. It was, it was legit. It was good, exciting racing, and like the people that were there were fully enthused and committed to this series. Everyone knew all the guys. It was good, hard racing. It was certainly better than World Superbike, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I have an unhealthy disdain for the sun, so that was a little rough. But I actually started watching that race and having a good time and thinking, "Fuck, dude, remember the heydays at AMA? Mm-hmm. The heydays, like maybe we're on the road to redemption. We were on the brink, and now we're over the precipice and coming back."
It's no Ducati Moses, but it's a similar, different parallel universe that the AMA series used to be one of the best in the world. It really went through a dark time with DMG and that group buying them. They've now come out of that. They're going to be like the Phoenix Rising. It's got potential. It's just going to take some time and a little bit of investment, a little bit of fine tuning on the way the series goes to market and presents itself. But it's got the right blend of things and the right people at the helm. That's the other big
and the thing is, me and Everett talked about this on the ride home, man. MotoAmerica has the stories. And we've said that a million times about GP and about like why Jorge should be a bad guy, all the things. Like MotoAmerica's got stories. What it needs is to build on those. And like, the motherfucking story of, there's a lot to go, but the one I want to touch on to kind of kick it off, the whole thing is like, Elias is a goddamn American hero. And let me tell you why. Because all of you are thinking that like he's actually a Spanish midget who kept fucking giving Rob the mean mug during the podium because Rob's pit was directly behind Parc Ferme.
I still gotta post that picture.
Right, that picture exists. Toni Elias is looking at him like Rob just fucked his girlfriend. Straight up. You know what I mean? Like,
that doesn't
sorry,
mean
Luca.
He did mean mug him though.
No, for real. But like, here's why, dude. Like, what is more American than what Toni Elias has gone through? You're talking about a European dude who had some success and then found serious failures. He was basically cast out by like the fucking, the guilds. Like, this is the 1700s and he's trying to be like a stonemason and the Masons guilds don't let him. Right. He was fucking blacklisted and cast out, and through a stroke of luck, the dude finds himself in America at the right place at the right time and completely fucking reinvents himself, right? Completely reinvents himself, totally finds his passions again in the land of the free and the home of the motherfucking brave, dog. Elias is brave enough to take that wild card ride and fucking make hay when the sun shines. There is literally like, the dude is living the quintessential American story, which is the fucking finding redemption across the sea in the land of fucking paved gold streets. Pothole-filled streets. But that's beside the point.
So being a foreigner and taking someone else's job and then capitalizing on it better? Yeah, well,
No doubt, right.
That's pretty fucking American.
No, that's what
I know, right?
All the way back from like, hey, this corn and maize looks pretty good. Fuck you, Indians. But like, right, all I'm saying, I'm waiting for the laugh there. Fuck you,
Yikes.
Indians. Like, hashtag fuck you, Indians. No, for real. But like, the guy was able to turn everything around and get a fresh start in a new series, in a new land, surrounded by new people, and fucking made the most of it. Did he take someone else's job? Yeah, kind of, but he was...
Maybe.
But he was way better at it. The dude he's won 5 straight, and he has like 8 wins in 6 rounds. The guy is good, and he is taken the opportunity that he was given, that not a lot of people have the balls to try, and he's making the most of it. He could have just sat around and gone the Yanni Hernandez route and got some shitty ride in Moto2 again and struggled to get 20th, or he could have been in World Superbike and kind of just like done whatever. But, you know, a lot of people kind of laughed when the dude took the Yoshimura ride, and a lot of people said, but like, the dude is living the high life right now. He's traveling around the country, winning races and looking good, and he's totally fucking reborn. And that's like my whole theme of the episode, and my whole theme of what I was thinking of MotoAmerica is the whole theme of the place is fucking from the brink, like reborn. It's a phoenix from the ashes, dude. Like, this is the time to get in on it, because it's only upward from here.
I do oh, go ahead, Ev.
I was going to say, just real quick, two things. One, it gives the exposure to the global audience, right? You take someone like Elias, who had the prominence in GP and had all those capabilities and fanfare there. Obviously, to your point, he kind of lost faction, whatever you want to call it, when the tires changed, and his style lent itself to a certain set of tires and type of tire, and he kind of had that fall from grace and found a new home here. The dude lives in fucking Hollywood or something, I think I've heard, or LA, somewhere around it. He's living the fucking American California dream. I mean,
right, dude.
Better.
And dude, he's always posting on his Instagram, like driving through Utah. Look how beautiful this is. Driving through fucking, Monument Valley, or through Arizona. Like, the guy has embraced the country and the people, and he's kicking ass. Some people are like, kind of like upset about it or whatever. And yeah, he kind of stole Roger Hayden's soul in this race. Like, and I felt sort of bad. But not really, because like it is a sport and the best guy's got to win, and Elias is the best guy right now. But yeah, and exactly what you said, dude. Like, it's this, like, maybe again he proves to a lot of Euro racers out there that there's success to be found on the other side of the country, on the other side of the Atlantic, where like people didn't even realize the racing was going down. People might not realize it was good, but there's a lot of racers out there that might look at their Moto2 ride or their crappy World Superbike ride and said, hey, maybe I'll go ride for a Yamaha. Fuck, Josh Herrin just podiumed on a bike sponsored by fucking Wiener Schnitzel, bro. Like, that's as American as it gets, too. Like, there is opportunity here on the ground floor. This isn't like 2005 when, like, Neil Hogston came over thinking he was going to be good and he was racing a Ducati against Matt Mladen and Ben Spies. Like, there's equal talent and there's opportunity, and Elias is proving it to everyone that there's a second life to be had in MotoAmerica.
Well, Elias's timing was pretty phenomenal too, because it was right when Wayne Rainey took over the series and transitioned it to MotoAmerica, right? And he got onto one of essentially the only two factory teams in this series right before they released the brand new motorcycle, right?
Well,
so his timing is good, and he's able to show all those other Europeans that they can come over. And I mean, to be fair, Elias is probably one of the few people that's actually getting paid on the grid to ride the bike. There are too many there that are really not making any money. But if more talented riders come over and make the series better, make it more entertaining, then the money, the outside industry money, is going to come into the sport, and it's going to help out quite a bit. Like, I heard that Valentin Debise didn't get paid for last year, but he's making money this year.
Right, like that's
I think.
That's the point. Like, what paid Rob $500, but
M4, the team M4 does not pay.
Right.
They generally are a feeder team, and they get credit for feeding into pro teams.
But like my point is, like, if Elias brings more eyes to the series, another Euro comes over, does well, another team takes a gamble on a good guy who's looking for a rebirth, and he does well, gets some wins or gets a couple podiums. Like, there was a time, like Everett said, like, AMA was the premier Superbike series. It was bigger, better, and considered more talented than World Superbike. 2004, 2005, straight up, it was. You know what I mean? Like, they literally sent Regis Laconi and James Toseland over to AMA. I'm dropping my knowledge. Don't think I didn't watch AMA back in the day, assholes. I watched that shit. I remember thinking they thought Regis Laconi was gonna be the champ, and then he totally wasn't, and it like pulled the wind at everyone's sails. But if AMA can get back to the point where a variance of international riders are coming here to ride, that's eyes on the series, and that's maybe Kawasaki thinks, hey, You know, an AMA investment's a cheap thrill for eyes on us. We already invest in Superbike. We have the tech. Let's get someone on there. Fucking maybe Stefan Bradl says this Honda sucks. I'll go ride in America for a while or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, Elias is proving that you can do it and you can do it well. It's not like the dude is a scrub. He won a GP race. He podiumed on satellite Ducatis in 2008. I mean, literally, like, when no one could ride that thing. He's a Moto2 champ. He just couldn't ride Bridgestones.
Yeah, exactly.
Spec Bridgestones, because he fucking did well on the Bridgestones when they weren't spec. And maybe some riders are going to think, and I really fucking hope so, that, you know what, the situation that I'm stuck in is I can't get out of it. I'm just circling around the track, and I've got not the best situation, because we've talked about this. The World Superbike second, third tier teams are a huge drop-off, and maybe they think, well, Elias is getting paid to race motorcycles, and that's what I want to do. Get paid to race motorcycles.
I guess MotoAmerica has that problem though too, right? I mean, I think this is Herrin's first podium this year, and the drop off from Graves and Yosh Suzuki is down to the other teams is massive, right? It's just like in World Superbike, but maybe the problem is. Say that again, Ev.
No, I was gonna say it's always been a conflict in these second tier series, right? Because they don't have enough factories that bring enough money, and so the one or two, right? This used to be a problem where in AMA pro racing, it used to be Formula Extreme. The only factory in Formula Extreme was Honda. The only factory in Supersport was then, I think, Yamaha.
Yep.
And they basically divided and conquered, and every factory had their own little mini class.
Their little niche.
And it was the lamest thing you've ever seen, but they were smart because somebody conspired to basically make all the marketing efforts around all that. They were feeding the money into the series, bringing all the money and investment in the paddock for all the advertising. That then feeds the TV rights, and it's systematic. The problem is, for us as viewers, that is bullshit. You can't have 4 classes and 4 factories, one in each. That's just
which is
fun
why
seeing the same
which is
bikes
why
win.
it wasn't sustainable, and which is why we don't have that whole system anymore. And I think the rule set now is a lot more sustainable. And if factories do come back, they're gonna stick it out in Superbike or at least Superstock 1000.
Well,
right?
and really to that point, you said, Herrin got his first podium, but what did Herrin just prove? That a satellite team can podium. A satellite team sponsored by a hot dog stand, by Mean Motorsports, literally like a fucking... I mean, I'm not talking shit. Herrin's a super dope dude, and he got on our show, and as Everett will tell you, he was vulnerable, and he dropped it, and he laid it on the line. That was one of our best episodes. Episode 52, legitimately, you listen to that shit and you're a Herrin fan for life. So,
absolutely.
I'm not just saying that because he came on the show, because, Scott Jones came on the show too, and now we're kind of blacklisted from him. But, yeah, for real.
But that's not Scott Jones' fault.
Don't tell anybody that. Don't tell anybody that.
I'm not talking... Actually, his photography is very good. Literally buy prints from him. He's a dope artist. But I'm just saying, Herrin has proved... But
he can't be associated with us.
Right, he can't... Yeah, exactly, on the DL. But Herrin has proved that a satellite team with a quality rider can podium. A satellite team on not a very large budget. I mean, a large enough budget that the fucking same dude who sponsors the BrotoGP podcast sponsors Herrin's team and is on the top of their tent. You know what I mean? It's a cheap thrill. Cheap is relative.
Issue. Well, here's the issue with Herrin, right? You look back in the last couple of years, he was doing the super stock class, and he was winning that, or at least I think he got one of the titles on that, right?
Yeah, he won the Super Stock 1000 title.
And so they pivoted to go after Superbike, and he felt confident that he could go chase that down. And it's great to see that he's actually on the box. I mean, it was a little bit of misfortune by Cam Bobier, but he got on the box, and hey, that's a hell of a testament, because it has been that establishment for years of just Yamaha. And thank God Suzuki's finally stepped up their game and hired Toni Elias. But it's even better to see that satellite rider on the podium, because that's the telltale sign that you're getting parity in the class.
And healthy.
It creates a healthy environment for spectators. And this is the catch-22 kind of what came first, the TV rights or the spectator, right? And it's like, well...
The spectator came first. Every time.
Right. So you got to build the spectators to bring the TV rights, but the TV rights are what bring the factories. And so it's this fucked up vicious circle, and there's no right answer, and it takes a lot of time and energy. But You got to get parity in the series, and that demonstrates.
And it's the same thing. Herrin is another awesome story. Like, we've said this before, like, the guy won the title, then he goes to Moto2, he takes this huge risk, and it does not work out. For a variety of reasons, you can listen to episode 52 to really break down how, you know, he brings exhaust sponsors, they give it to Zarco, he's not getting paid. Like, I mean, it's hell. You know what I mean? Like, as hell on earth as racing motorcycles for money can be. But, like, it's not good. It's horrible. People think he's done. They think he's an embarrassment. He's as low as you can be. And the kid is a genuine dude. I mean, he's all smiles. He came on the show and he laid it on the line. He doesn't even fucking know us. You know what I mean? He just knows that we were.
we went up to him the other day and he didn't say. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Who? No.
Yeah. No. But like. No, actually, he was bragging that he was on the show before other people, so that's kind of cool.
True.
But like,
Are you serious?
That's true. No, for real. I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story later, Rob. But like, the point is like, what did this kid do? Exactly. This kid gets. He puts his nose to the grindstone. He says, well, shit, I gotta swallow my pride and race super stock as a former Superbike champion. But he wins the title. And then he steps up with Mean, and Mean says, well, we're gonna add some money, we're gonna get some more sponsors, fucking chili wiener schnitzels for fucking days. And like, and they get a podium. I mean, he told us this. He said, I feel like I can compete, I feel like I can podium, and I feel like wins are within my grasp. And it's just like me and Everett said, right? Like, racing is chasing the dragon. Racing is a more expensive version of being a heroin addict. But I guarantee you that night, Mean and the guys at Mean were sitting around the table drinking, going, we need more money. We need more money because we can win. We need more sponsors. It's all worth it because we can win a race. This can happen. This is real. And the moment that satellite riders start thinking we can podium, we got to double down, and we can get it, and they're not just circling, that's a great sign. I was so stoked when Herrin won. I mean, Bobier is cool. Red Bull rookies, young guy, reigning champ, like all that stuff, and Hayes can eat a dick, but like, and you want to talk about mean? You want to talk about mean mugging? Hayes mean mugged me like crazy at the AMA Super Moto race in Long Beach at the Queen Mary, and the at the time managing director of Umbrella Girls USA, who is my personal friend, can fucking verify that dude wanted to fight me. It's so weird. It's so weird. There was like multiple people hanging out with me were like, why is that guy looking at you like that?
It's personal, apparently, man.
Right.
He thought you were George Clooney and he was ready to fight George. I mean, it's that simple.
Exactly.
And quickly on the Herrin topic, when watching race 2, I actually thought Herrin was going to jump out to the lead. In the early laps, he looked extremely competitive and a viable contender for the lead at some point. And
he has
about
been.
A third of the way through, he dropped off and kind of fell into his comfort zone and just was like, hey, bring it home in fourth. It's a good spot.
He's shown that before. At VIR, he was in the lead for quite a while and eventually like fell back a little bit and was battling Toni.
I'd love to,
and then took him out.
I'd love that to be the follow-up. Yeah. The follow-up interview of what's going on. Why can you be competitive in the first third to half of the race and then fall off? Is it?
Well, I mean, not to get too technical here, but in his
dude, honestly, Rob, get technical because like apparently some of our fans like that. Get up in that technical booty.
I mean, tires, electronics.
It's definitely electronics because in the first half of the season, he was having serious issues with it, and the Mean Motorsports team was just, they couldn't get their head around it. Even on his Instagram post for the win, he said no wheelie control as he lost the massive wheelie across the start-finish line. So I got to assume that Herrin's Mean Motorsports team is on a different spec electronics than the Graves Yamaha team. And I mean, Graves, one of the reasons why they're struggling this year is because they had to switch electronics in the off season. I don't know if it's from rule changes or just because they needed to switch for something.
Didn't want to buy the full blown what is it, Motec or?
Well, they're on a Magneti Marelli system, but they were last year, but they had to change specs. It might be one of the cost controls that MotoAmerica put in. It might also be, I think they essentially said like the one that you were using from 2012 is no longer legal. Like they just drew the line. But Herrin probably isn't using that. And even if he is, Mean Motorsports obviously doesn't have the technical know-how that Graves does. Because Graves, they've been for 30 years, they've been making motorcycles go fast or something, right?
Yeah,
right, and there is literally. Go ahead, Evan. Go ahead, Evan.
I was gonna say, just throw your $100,000 electric system in the garbage. Good luck.
From the rule change?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
We'll get to that in the World Superbike episode too, right?
But I mean, there's the point, right? Like we said, you get a good rider. I mean, Josh is a good rider. He knows how to turn a bike around he knows how to bend a corner, as my fucking bros like to say that ride Harleys. You gonna bend a corner, bro? But
What? I've never heard that.
You never heard that term, bend a corner? Literally,
never owned a Harley, I guess.
Oh, seriously, anyone who's listening to this one right now, fucking send me a message that you've heard of bend a corner.
And a picture of your Harley and your chaps.
Right, exactly.
And call Riders Law when if you need any help.
No doubt, call Riders Law. But that's the point. Like, that's a brand new team running, brand new for Superbike, and they were able to podium. It took a little bit, but they got on the box legitimately. It was not rain. It was not a bunch of stuff. Beaubier crashed out trying to keep up with the Yosh guys, and fucking Herrin picked up the pieces, and he was well ahead of Hayes. That was not like Hayes also having problems. That was him being the best Yamaha that day, and the best Yamaha yet fucking Sunday was a satellite.
I mean, that's to me, that's like the Folger performance, right? Definitely the best Yamaha of the day. Beat the guy that has way more experience and generally should be able to beat him, but put in the solid performance.
And we've talked about this, and this is going to become, I think, more of a theme on episodes in general at any level of racing, is that the parity and the precipice of bikes. I mean, God, you motherfuckers on that last episode, the what the hell was it? The pinnacle frame.
Peak frame.
I
think I think the concept of peak bike is somewhat coming in based on the rule restrictions, and there's so much they can do that the refinement to take it to any next level is so expensive that we're going to start seeing that more, and that's a good thing because it makes more parity across any of this platform stuff. So I wonder if it's seriously a recurring theme at this level, World Superbike level, MotoGP level, any kind of motorcycle racing.
Yeah, I mean, I would still like to see the top factory teams struggle just a tiny bit more so that they don't win all the time. Right? Like, we're seeing a lot more variability and a lot more parity in MotoGP because of the regulations and because of the tires. And I think that same thing needs to happen in World Superbike and in MotoAmerica. It probably doesn't need to happen in British Superbike because everyone talks about that series about how it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a piece
but that series is crazy because of their strangely nuanced tracks that only those guys ride with, like, jumps and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's everything, right? It's everything coming together to make it so that 6-7 people can win on any day, which is what we had in World Superbike like a couple years ago.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. And it's all about that recipe, right? Because the average fan, the common fan, let's call them, doesn't know the difference of the electronics between bike to bike. They're not doing the homework. They want to just show up and see some badass motherfucking bikes. They don't give a shit if one's got Superbike forks or one has slicks and one has DOTs or whatever the fucking differences are. They just want to see good racing. And pretty bikes. And good loud
right, and what they want to see is the bike, like production racing. Like MotoGP is brand racing, but production racing is specific to bikes. Guys want to see the bikes that they have, or they want to see the bikes that they like that they wish they could buy. They want to see dope R1s and Ninja ZX10s, and all the Ducati guys want to see Panigales, right? Like, so what? You don't really care if they have Superbike forks and all this shit. You want to see the model of bike that you have, or the model of bike that you wish you had. That's, you know what I mean? That's what you want to see, and I'm really hoping that Herrin's podium and his competitiveness and with the satellite, and not even a satellite team, literally just a privateer team, just some dudes who want to go Superbike racing and they're doing it, proves to, like, Kawasaki America and proves to Ducati North America that we don't need to spend a lot as long as we have a good rider on the bike and we run a decent team. So along the lines of good rider on the bike doing well, I'm going to invert that and talk about how Hayes is not a good rider on the bike, and for reals, it's time to go, bro. Sorry, bro.
I can't hate that hard. I will say, based on what I'm seeing and what's happening with that team, it's clear that it's one of those things where it's probably going to be his last year, depending on what his contract situation is. I don't even know, but
his contract is up. His contract is up this year. But there was, in the beginning of the year, here's the lowdown. In the beginning of the year, he was all for retiring kind of thing. But once he got that win, I think it was at VIR. Once he got that win at VIR, he flipped the switch and is essentially at I don't want to retire anymore. Is the rumors that I've heard. And but we need him to retire. We need him to retire because there are two guys. There's Gerloff and Beach in Supersport that are just destroying the rest of the field, and we need them to go somewhere. Because it's silly for them to just battle for the Supersport title for 6 years.
But then one of them will remain and just dominate, and that's kind of boring. They're kind of like Mladen.
But no, because if they here's the thing, and I'm stealing Everett's line right now. Hayes is the last remaining guy from the old guard, from the shitty DMG. He was in AMA. The whole theme of the episode right now is the rebirth and redemption of American racing, and how it's actually awesome and it's all on the up and up right now. Hayes is the throwback to the dark ages, the dark era. It's time to be. He's old. It's time to be. It's cool, man. You won a lot of stuff. You had a sweet ride when you rode in MotoGP, and you got good successes. I'm not hating on your career, but it's time to move on and step forward. Guys need to know that super sport success leads to Superbike. Or, hey, maybe they get rid of Hayes and they think, fuck, we'll bring someone over from Yamaha, that's riding for Super. I mean, maybe fucking Nicola Canepa comes over. Maybe Alex Lowe's decides, fuck, this ain't worth it to ride this shit. I mean, Yamaha,
that'd be a huge, just mushroom print right on the forehead of Gerloff and Beach for them to sign someone else.
That'd be fucked up. I agree. That's not very progressive. But hey, you know what? I'm all for the tryout model, and basically, hey, may the best rider get it. So it'll make the series better, no matter how you look at it. I don't care. The best brings the best, and it breeds the series. And it's really interesting, right? Going back into the dyno concept, right? I mean, this guy used to race Attack Kawasaki, I believe, and he used to race with Matt Mladen. Matt Mladen retired.
So old school.
Matt Mladen retired in 2009, man. I mean, Hayes was way from that era, and he was a mid-pack satellite rider, had a couple moments of brilliance, and had journeyman, and then finally got to his prominence. And he's here, and he was dominant for a while. Make no mistake. It's just, it's kind of sunsetting the career.
He's a very talented rider, and it's obvious that he's been able to slowly improve year after year. I mean, he won a race this year, right? He beat Toni Elias on the new Suzuki. Yeah. It's not he's not still solid. It's just we kind of want someone else.
It's time for new blood. We're culling the herd. It's what's happening. We're culling the herd. It's time for new blood. We either want Here's what we want. We either want young Americans stepping up and being good, or we want an influx of talented foreigners looking for a rebirth who are going to put new eyes on the series. Hayes, as talented as he is, he's in the twilight of his career, and he's not bringing new eyes to the series. And right now, we are in the up and up. The chart is going up, and Hayes. Sorry, man, it's time to get off the trolley. We got to get some new blood on here.
We should get Iannone in the series. That would be dope, dude.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking we needed Italian. We got a Spaniard. We need an Italian. That guy seems eligible. Let's go for it.
I said Canepa. Nicola Canepa rides for Yamaha. Bring him over here.
Nah, he's not cool enough for me. Give me someone cooler.
I'm down with Nicola Canepa as well. I feel like he's ridden a bunch of bikes, but we need Ducati to come over, right? Just get some factory support in Ducati in this series.
Yeah.
I mean,
let him join in is it Super Stock 1000? Let him jump in there and get that title for the freebie for the first year. That's fine.
For the freebie. Yeah, because that's all we
Hey,
need.
they'll
is
promote the
factory
shit out of
bikes.
that in magazines. They don't give a fuck. There is no
Factory bikes
scruples
and
or
Super Stock 1000. That's all we really need. Oh my god.
But think about that. If you're if you're Kawasaki or Aprilia or Ducati or whoever trying to get back in a series, it's fucking ripe for the taking now. There's nobody there, and you'll get a great title to put in the back page of fucking Road Racing World or whatever the hell, magazine.
Yeah,
I mean, it's true. And to
see
Kev's
if you
point, that would create a storyline.
Right, it's all storylines. I don't care what anyone says.
Fair.
Like, sometimes you guys even say, like, parody, no, because I can point you right to when parody didn't matter, 2002, 3, 4, and 5, when Valentina was winning between 9 and 11 races in a 15-race calendar. No one gave a fuck about parody, right? When Colin Edwards was fighting Troy Bayliss in one of the most epic seasons ever, no one gave a fuck about parody, or that Ben Bostrom and James Toseland couldn't podium. No one gave a fuck. It's the storylines that matter. And right now, Hayes ain't a storyline. But there's storylines to be had. There's storylines to be manufactured. The core audience is going to be there. The guys that have stuck through AMA, through the thick and thin, are going to be there. But we need to get these things out. Elias, Herrin, Bobier, I mean, we can talk about Bobier for a minute here. Like, that guy's got a pretty interesting story, too. He's raced around the world, Red Bull rookies. He comes home to America with the skills he learned around the world. And, a local boy makes good. There's stories to be had here. Ducati, Kawasaki need to know that for not that much money, they can get their brand out there if they get the right riders with the right stories and they get, they get going. This is ripe for the taking for factories because you don't need to invest that much on your return.
And if anybody from MotoAmerica is listening, I just really don't. I just stumbled on it, so don't get me wrong. But try and court any other factory to come into the series in Superstock 1000, and they get to win a title pretty easily if you're a factory. And guess what?
We don't need them, right? We just need
hold
riders.
on. Yes, you do.
No.
You need to trick the factory to come, and then they get to hire a nice rider. To your point, and guess what? What if you hired Iannone to ride a fucking Honda, and he was so good that he challenged for the win? Even though he's on a super stock bike, I know that's a far-fetched
pipe dreams.
But follow me. Just follow me. Let's just say they entered the race and maybe one race a year they won, and then you entice a second factory because they're like, hey, I think I could beat them, and now you got 4 factories back in, and they're hiring good riders, and you've got a competitive series with the investment. Now you've really got something.
You sound so old right now because that's exactly what 10 years ago was for AMA, was shit tons of factory money propping up the series without actually having solid racing, right? We don't need to invest in that, right? We need to invest in the riders and the series itself to get the racing solid before the money. Because if the money comes in and makes the series good, great. But then once the money leaves, the series is shit again. Right, we need the series to be functional all by itself without the money.
It's 2 things. Here's what you need. You need factories do one thing, and we know this. They add legitimacy. Okay,
yeah, very true.
It's the difference between a club, right? It's a difference between a club race and a Superbike national series is the legitimacy of factories. Now you can have private teams running factory equipment and yada yada yada. Like Everett said, it was cool when factories are around, but each one had their own custom made title they could go win, and it sucked. You had Ben Bostrom and Herrin riding Super Sport, while you had fucking what's his name, Jake Zemke riding Formula Extreme. You had Mladen and Speed, so it was all separated. But what we need is 1 or 2 other factories knowing that they don't need to spend that much to enter the series and be competitive, as long as we get some good riders that people want to root for. Production-based riding is 2 things: the factory that you like, or the bike that you like, and the rider that you like. We've just proven to everyone on the field that a decent satellite or privateer team, as they call it, National Series, can podium and do well. Ducati needs to look at this and see, shit, we got some riders. I mean, fuck, Michele Pirro goes and wins the CEV, like, you know, or CIV, like, Superbike title every single year. There's guys out there who could be competitive. It would be interesting. The influx of young riders from America combined competing against guys from around the world is the key. Elias, Herrin, and Bobier are proving the formula. Proof of concept has happened. The racing is good, and there's some factories involved that are having success for not too much money. Let's build on that.
We need to get Carl to tell Gigi Dall'Igna that Michele Pirro can like poon in Superstock 1000 in MotoAmerica.
I think I'm going to try and convince Carl to come over here and be the factory Ducati rider.
That's
a better idea.
You're telling
then
me
I can hang out with my bro.
Yeah, I mean, no, for reals. You're telling me. I mean, Carl's the man. He's super cool and he's so fucking friendly. But he, you know, if he's not in GP next year, things don't work out. You're telling me that he can't, you know, for not that much money, have a Superbike team in America and maybe do decent once he learns the tracks. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that can find new life in MotoAmerica. And that's the whole theme. It's new life in MotoAmerica. It's a new summer. It's a new spring. Like, these guys, factories gotta know you don't have to spend a ton to get results, and riders got to know there's a place for young up-and-coming riders, and there's a place here for foreign riders who want to jumpstart their careers.
And Rob, my point is, you just get a few of them in early. You make rules that basically say you can be a Superstock 1000 factory team for 2 years or whatever rule, and then you have to progress. But the trick is you have to make it worthwhile and of value to them, right? They're going to have to see a return on their investment, get other investors, get sponsors. Someone's got to put in that work. Many times these series haven't done that very well.
Let's talk about that though, right? So that's one thing that I've been hearing from a lot of fans and a lot of the other racers and stuff, that MotoAmerica isn't there yet, right? They haven't put in the work to make the series and the racing as prevalent and as public as it needs to be, right? Like, the racing is on beIN Sports USA, which it's like a paid for cable channel, and sometimes the coverage sucks. It's obscure. Yeah. Like, I use PlayStation View. Like, I don't even have cable anymore, and I had the channel, and then Sony freaking canceled it. So now I can't even watch my own freaking races.
Well, Kevin already talked about this. Everything needs to be free. I don't care. There's not enough money in the ticket sales or any of it, in my opinion. The TV rights really generally dictate most of it. They've got to just entice it, right? If it's free at Sonoma and you're a family of 5 and you can't afford to go to the movies, guess what? I'll go fucking sit on a hillside for an afternoon and watch some bikes. I might buy 2 beers, and hey, it's better than fucking what I was going to do. So,
years ago, in the depths of the economic crisis, Valencia was charging €1 for a ticket to MotoGP.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that is a real thing that happens. Okay, MotoAmerica. The best thing about having nothing to lose is you have is being at the bottom of it, is you have everything to gain, you got nothing to lose. MotoAmerica's got to know that here we go. We have a decent product, and the product is good. We have to get it out there. There's never been a better time to be able to get content out there. I've said this a million times. Me, Rob, and Everett are 3 shitheads drunk off our asses, and we have a podcast. I have fucking crushed this $4 bottle of slut, rosé Spanish wine, the sluttiest wine there is. I'm going full Yanone on my Instagram stories in a second. And we have a podcast. How can they not get their content out there? You have Facebook Live, you have Instagram stories, you have fucking YouTube. We have a YouTube channel that no one literally goes on. It just auto-loads. For all you who might want to listen on YouTube, it literally auto-loads. Like, we expend zero energy, literally zero, to have a YouTube page. Zero energy. It just auto-loads.
I've talked about this with people, right? MotoAmerica at the moment, I don't think they have the capital to transition from paying beIN Sports to produce the show, right? Because beIN Sports makes a little bit of money off of people watching the races, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
it's likely that they don't charge MotoAmerica all that much. If MotoAmerica wanted to pay for the cameras and the crew to do the production themselves, it would be way expensive, right? But beIN Sports is not gonna live stream that shit to YouTube because they're not gonna make money off of it, right? So like Dorna, we can't compare MotoAmerica to what Dorna does with GP because Dorna charges the racetracks and charges the TV companies, right? They charge the racetracks to host the race or to bring the races, and they charge the TV companies to broadcast the races. MotoAmerica is not in that position.
You'd have to break the machine. I don't disagree. I don't know enough about all the complexities that I'm sure they're out there, but there is. You look at NASCAR.
But fuck the complexities.
Hold on. They took 40 years. They took 40 years to create their product, and now look at it. You don't even know what the fucking cars are. They just got fucking M&Ms on them, and you just watch them go around.
Yeah, but the money is
unreal.
Peanut butter M&M sounds hella good right now.
I know they do.
but the money's there, and the tracks pay NASCAR, and the TV channels.
The TV
pay
rights
NASCAR.
dictate everything now. They've gotten to that
TV rights
point.
Dictate. But MotoAmerica's not there.
TV's it's a dying medium. TV's as dead, and I don't want to get into the internal combustion engine. TV is dying. Everyone is cutting the cord. Here is your chance to get your stuff out there. You're telling me you can't release your videos for 99 cents and download them the day of, or you can stream subscription. I'm not going to get into complexities because, again, whatever, but fuck complexities. Our president got elected on actively not wanting complexities to be talked about, so no one gives a fuck about complexities.
Here's the idea.
You can Facebook live stream 4K video off of a fucking phone. You're telling me you can't figure out how to put some GoPros around a track and sync them up to a Wi-Fi feed and put them on YouTube?
Yeah, that would happen.
You got to be fucking.
That would happen, and everyone and their mother would bitch and complain about the quality and how it looked like shit, right?
I'm just saying.
We expect the best. No, here's the idea. Here's the idea, and then we're going to close this out. Here's the idea, and we got to close this one out. This is not an original idea. I heard this from someone. I don't explicitly remember who said it to me. We need to get MotoAmerica on fucking Netflix. And that's it.
Right.
Netflix is going into sports, supposedly.
Then
everyone and their mother has Netflix. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Netflix and chill with MotoAmerica Superbike. Right?
That's so good. That's so...
Free. They'd invest.
That is so absolutely true. Be on the cutting edge of sports for once, because, I mean, right now, motorcycle racing has never been the cutting edge of sports. But here, that's such the perfect example of thinking outside the box, thinking on, the under 40 crowd and all that, like how to grow this thing, get it on Netflix. I mean, all
the teenagers that we want to actually watch this so that our sport continues, instead of just working with the 45-year-old fogies that are eventually going to stop watching because they're dead, right? Like we need to attract more fans, and Netflix is the way to do that. And
here's what I'm doing. We end in this topic right now. BrotoAmerica and Chill on Netflix. Fucking write that down. Straight up. BrotoAmerica and Chill. Hashtag trademarked. Like I'm dead serious right now. Like literally, MotoAmerica. If you're listening, I saw that girl who was doing the interviews admiring me too. Yeah, I'm handsome. But like,
Kevin is for sale to the highest bidder.
Like, hire me, Rob and Everett, to fucking resurrect your series. Straight up.
We will do that. All right, everyone.
Hold on. No. Sonoma's coming up in a couple weeks. I actually live in Sonoma. I'm going to be there. And this time, I'm going to be there with motherfucking reception, which we'll get to later. If you're there and you like BrotoGP, fucking find me. I'm the devilishly handsome guy with the BrotoGP shirt on and some tattoos. And me and Everett are going to be chilling and drinking our fucking wine and our Coronas. And it's going to be a good time. I'm going to the race. Tell us if you like this episode. Tell us if you want more MotoAmerica content. We didn't really get into the race specific because we just wanted to kind of like cover the series and the stories and the ideas of why we think it's valid. You tell us. You want more of this shit? Fuck yeah. BrotoAmerica and Chill.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you in a few days, actually.
What?
Elias.